This is my DIY van conversion of a 2015 Ford Transit 350 HD Dully. This is a 3.2 liter turbo diesel, and in this episode we are laying the subfloor, insulating, and sound deadening the interior. So welcome to my channel, and I hope you enjoy the series. Okay, so I'm starting my subfloor, and I was trying to figure out what I really wanted to just use, like 1x2s. Just so like we can prevent from taking away any headroom. I ended up going with 2x3s. The reason being is you can see like I'm gonna lay these in the openings that are lower. And then, so I measured basically if I were to use 1x2s, it would only allow for half-inch foam insulation. By doing a 2x3, it's allowing me to have an inch foam insulation, which when I thought was going to be okay just to do the half inch, but when I went to go buy them, they were so flimsy that I feel like if you stepped on it, it wouldn't be good. The 1 inch is super rigid and dense, so that's why I went this route. Foam board I'm gonna do after I lay my grid of 2x3s. And then I'll fill all the gaps with my foam board. The reason it was important to know the sizing is because I want it all level, like the foam board with the grid that I lay before I lay the plywood on top of it. And that will be the base so that I can lay my flooring, my nice flooring on top of that. This, I think, has an R value of 6. I think it's R6, but there's a bunch of different ones you can use. This is the one I'm using because it's what was in Lowe's. And so yeah, that's where we're gonna start doing the subfloor. And I'm gonna be gluing these down and then self-drilling screws in just a couple. Okay, so I have most of my layout done. Nothing's secured. The issue was, and you know, I'm sure this is gonna happen a million times, I wish I would have taken these out because I'm running them, like all my 2x3s, in these larger slots, and these force them up, so it was preventing them from being level. Luckily, Grandpa Rich was next door, came and saved the day. He put on what's called a dado blade, so you basically can just route out areas. So these are what I need to fit over, and now these pieces fit right over it, snug, and I had to do it on like that piece, like 5 of them. So basically I got them cut. They look like this. This is such a thin part, I'm just snapping it out, and then it'll lay perfectly over all the bolts seams. Okay, so now that I have all my framing cut, I am using Loctite Power Grab Ultimate. It's a construction adhesive. It's supposed to grab it instantly. And I'm doing this because I didn't want to screw into the bottom of the van. A lot of people will just glue them down. Some people like to glue them and screw them in, but I'm going to try just gluing them. And then if that doesn't work, or if it doesn't, like it seems like they're, not solid to the ground, then I will get some self-drilling metal screws that I can put in places. But for now, we're doing the glue, letting it dry so I can fill these gaps with my insulation. All right, so I finished my insulation pieces. They're all super snug in here and making it so that it's a level surface. So what I'm gonna do before I get the plywood, like these little gaps right here, there's a few that have, like if there's a broken piece or this one has like a tiny gap there, I'm gonna take great stuff. It's like that foam insulation stuff. And I'm just gonna fill in any gaps that I see. And then I'll scrape, once it dries, I'll scrape off the top to make it level. And then I saved the floors that I ripped out because I'm gonna use them as a template for the plywood that I just bought. I'll cut it out, lay it down, nail it to these, and our subfloor's done. I've never used this. It's called Great Stuff. This is it. Super easy to use and so satisfying. That's all you do. Do not touch this while it's wet. I have made the mistake. Well, I've made it in the past. This was an accident. It is the stickiest stuff. There is not a single thing on this planet that will get it off, except for time. And I've made that mistake, so don't do that. All right, so this is what I meant. I basically just with pencil drew out the grid that is below. So now I'm just gonna put in 5 million screws all inside of these marks. And then the subfloor will officially be done. And then I will probably stain this with like a waterproof clear stain. And my actual flooring will go directly on top of this. I bought Kilmat for the wheel wells. And then we'll move on to soundproofing and, well, not soundproofing, but sound deadening and insulating the walls and get furring strips up so that we can get walls. Okay, so I've been working on getting the insulation on the ceiling. Nothing is in place yet because it's like you try and do one thing and then you realize that you have to do a million other things in order to complete this thing. What I mean by that is I had to figure out electrical, and I can't like secure these until I run my wires. So I've been mapping out my wires, but I at least got them all cut and in place. Like they're just kind of wedged up there. They're not secured. That back one won't stay up by itself, so it's down there. But then what I did is I went through and marked like where I want to have our puck lights. Okay, so I'm putting our puck lights just in one straight line down the middle of the van. because once we get the structures and everything up, there's not going to be room to like kind of space them out, in my opinion. So I'm doing 5. That will be on one switch at the door opening in the front of the van. And then I'm putting 2 puck lights over there. That'll be over our bed on a different switch so that, you know, we can just not have those on or just have those only on. Just having an option. And they're all going to be dimmers. And then we're going to put 1 in the shower, which I am standing in. And then after that, the other thing that I have to do is put the sound deadening on the wheel wells and below this. But my roller that you have to like roll out the sound deadening is coming in the mail, hopefully today, maybe tomorrow. So that's why I can't keep going. So the other thing is once I get these secured, you can see there are like little gaps on the sides that I'll fill in with great stuff. Like that one's a lot bigger. And then I will be probably using at least like probably a 1x3, and I will attach it to the metal studs right there. And that way I can do my plank cedar roofing, and they will be running this way. This is a part that is absolutely horrible and it's not fun. These are the stupid things that I have to put on all the ceiling panels and walls. I mean, not completely cover them, but they have to be on like a percentage. But to roll them smooth is a crazy workout, and it's not fun. Okay, I'm super excited. I'm getting all kinds of cool deliveries. So I got my toilet, and I just got my Havelock wool. So it motivated me to roll out my, because I had to like still roll these Kilmat sound deadener sheets. So those ones, at least in the top sections, are all done. I'm using the wool to put into all the cavities, and I looked into like so many different options. Havelock wool is like by far the best one, in my opinion. There's a million ways to insulate, but it's like mold and mildew resistant, good with water. It's like a natural, it's like literal sheep wool, so it's not a bunch of fiberglass or crap that you're putting in. And it's super easy to work with. I don't even have to wear a mask, and I hear it smells really great. So anywho, I'm about to stuff all these holes and one step closer to framing. Okay, so how they come is in a long bat, and you basically just rip it off. So for this section, I'm just gonna rip off about right here. And then I am kind of just like fluffing it. And then once you get it fluffed, you literally just shove it in the crevice.
Mom, I'm doing
Which is like the #1 reason I wanted to get it, because this is so much easier than trying to fit like foam board or other crap. And I didn't want to have to wear the mask and all that. And it just smells like a nice little barn in here. I like it. Of course you did. Why did the horse cross the road?
Why?
To see his neighbor.
Guess why the pig crossed the road?
Why?
He was oinking and doing some dance moves.
Okay. Yeah, totally. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next week as you will witness me cutting a massive hole in the roof. Hopefully it turns out okay. Don't forget to subscribe so you can keep watching to see how this van turns out.